This is Mrs. Rodriguez, and welcome to Database Criteria, Lesson Part 2, Number Criteria. We're going to start off today's lesson by doing a quick recap of what we discussed in Lesson 1. So we talked about when you're trying to find an exact word or plain text criteria, for example, the word money, you would type money in criteria. Then we talked about wildcard criteria such as finding words that start with the letter M, where your criteria would be M asterisk. Finding words that end in M, your criteria then would be asterisk M. And then finding words that contain words, letters, or strings. So for example, finding a word that contains the letter M, your criteria then would be asterisk M asterisk. Then we talked about finding words with an exact number of characters. So for example, if you were to use the criteria of 3 question marks in quotations, this will find 3-character words like cat or rat. Today we're going to focus on finding numbers or number criteria. So when you want to find the exact number, this works just like a plain text criteria discussed in the previous lesson. When you're trying to find a specific number, the criteria should be the number that you're looking for. However, when looking for currency, do not include currency symbols like dollar signs. And when looking for numbers more than 1,000, do not include commas. So for example, if we wanted to find all of the records where the units is 66, we would then, in our query design window, we would go to the field units, and our criteria would be 66. And in this case, it will pull the records where the units are an exact match to our criteria, which would be 66. All right, let's do a quick review of greater than and less than. So remember, I always say in class that left hand is for less than. And now I'm going to add something new for you to remember. When you're trying to remember greater than, remember the GR. We're going to go right for greater than. Okay? So always remember that the less than sign points towards your left hand, and then the greater than sign points towards your right hand. So that's very important when you're trying to create number criteria that you get these 2 symbols correct. When you're trying to find a number that is greater than a particular number, to find this, you need to precede the number with the greater than symbol. So again, remember, you do not include currency symbols, and for numbers over 1,000 or over 999, we do not include commas. So let's look at an example. If we want to find numbers that are greater than 66, this will include all of the numbers from 67 and up. It will not include 66. So our criteria, again, we're looking for units. So this is going to be in the units column of our query design window, and our criteria will have the greater than symbol preceding the number that we are looking for. So the results of this query, then you're going to see, it's going to pull all of the numbers that are higher than 66, but it will not include records that are exactly 66. If we wanted to include the 66, then we need to create a criteria that will pull all of the numbers that are greater than or equal to. And to do this, we are going to precede the number with the greater than and the equal symbol. Now, greater than and equal together reads greater than or equal to. So you do not have to type those words into your criteria. As a matter of fact, you should not be typing the words greater than or equal to in your criteria. You should be using symbols only. And remember, no currency symbols and no commas for numbers over 99. So let's look at the example. To find numbers greater than or equal to 66, this will include all of the numbers, including 66 and up, because of the equal sign. The query will now also include records that have units with exactly 66 units, as well as those that are greater than 66. So now we have that record that is exactly 66 included, along with all of the records that have units that are more than 66. It's the same thing when we come to the less than. To find a number that is smaller than a particular number, we're going to precede that number with the less than symbol. No currency, no commas. So, less than 66 will include all of the numbers from 65 and lower. It's not going to include 66 because there is no equal. We are using the units field as our the field where we're going to put the criteria, and our criteria is going to have the less than sign and 66. So now you will see it includes those records where the units are below 66, but does not include the records where it is exactly 66. Now let's look at less than or equal to. To find a number that is smaller than or equal to a particular number, we're going to precede that number with the less than and the equal sign. No words in between. And remember, no currency symbols, no commas. So, less than or equal to 66 will include all of the numbers from 66 and lower. And this will find the records where the units are exactly 66 or less than 66. So now we will see the records that have units that are exactly 66 are included, and then all of the numbers that are below 66 as well. To find all of the records except a particular number is a little bit different. So when we want to find records except the record that contains a particular number, your criteria should say not. We're actually typing the word not. So we're not finding the records where the units is 101. And again, no currency symbols, no commas. So in the units column, our criteria says not 101. So this will then pull all of the records that have units that do not equal 101. So 101 is the only record that is going to be left out, or any other records that have units that are exactly 101. Now, there's actually another way that you can say the word not, and the way you can do that is by using the greater than and less than symbols together, back to back. Less than first and then greater than. That in computer language also represents the word not or not equal to. Okay? When we want to find records within a particular range of numbers, right? So to find all of the records in a particular range, we're going to use between, the actual word between. We put the first number, then the actual word and then we're going to put the last number. Okay, that's a typo there. We're talking about number. So for example, I want to find all of the records where the unit or units is between 10 and 34. This is going to be inclusive of the numbers 10 and the number 34. And then remember, no currency symbols, no commas for numbers over 99. So, looking at the example, between 10 and 34 will include the numbers 10 and 34. And to find the records, again, we're going to use the units column. And this time, our criteria actually says the words between and the word and. So you must type in between and between 10 and 34. And this is going to give you all of the records that either have a unit of 10 or any number between 10 and 34. That concludes today's lesson. If you didn't quite get it, go back and watch it again, and then go into Edmodo and complete today's assignment. Miss you guys.